All right, hey there, Wade Sellers here, and in this video I'm going to talk about state variables, and I'm going to use them in a very simple example that you can follow along with. There's going to be two kind of concepts we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about binding, and we're going to talk about state variables. Both of these concepts you're going to learn about in much more detail in future videos, but it's good to hear it now because we're talking about constants and variables, and state is kind of like in this as well. So just follow along and I'll explain it as we go. I've got Playgrounds open, and I'm just going to make it a little bigger. And I'm going to create a new app. You can use iPad or Mac Playgrounds to do this. Once you create a new app, just go ahead and go inside of it. So here's what we're going to do. First things first, we're going to create a variable. All right. So in content view, but up outside of the body, we're going to just do a string variable. Let's call it var. We'll call it text field text. We'll say it's of type string. And let's just set it to an empty string, okay? So it's been declared and we set a basic value. We won't have any issues if we do it this way. Now, just a variable is not going to cut it. We want a state variable. So in front of var, I want to type in @state. Okay, so I have a state variable right there. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to use this text label for it as an example. And instead of doing hello world, I'm going to do this / the parentheses, and inside here, I'm going to type in text field text, that variable, my string variable. This is called string interpolation. I'm adding a string to a string, and I do it with this little, code right here, okay? This little / in the parentheses, okay? Now, anytime this value is changed, okay? Anytime this state variable's value is changed, any view that's using this variable will be redrawn. That's what the state variable does. So like right here, if I just type in like Wade, notice that the label updates. I didn't do anything special. I just changed the value here, right? I can delete it and you'll get back to that hello with a comma, okay? Now, here's where it gets really cool. We can use this with another concept called binding so that it all happens with the user interface, with like a user typing in something. Because right now I'm in code, I'm just changing the value of this variable. But like a user can't do that, right? Only I can do it. But we can add a text field into the app and then the user can do the same exact thing. So check this out. I'm going to remove the image here. We don't need that. And instead of the image, I'm going to do a text field. I'm going to use the title, key, and text properties, okay? And basically, the title key is a little bit of text that's in the text field, and then the text is bound to a string. I'll explain that in just a moment. So right here, let's just say, type your name, okay? And then text, it says a binding string. Basically, it's saying, okay, I'm a text field, they're gonna punch in text, where do you want me to store this text at? You wanna bind me to a variable so that anytime I get text, I'll save it somewhere, okay? Great. We wanted to save it at the text field text value, right? So I'm going to give it text field text. Now bindings are a little special. You use a little $sign to say it's a binding text field text. Okay. So now here's what's happened. You can see that I have my text field right here, and then here's that label still. Anytime that I type into this text, I'm going to update the value of this string. Okay. Now that's what binding does. Now, because it's a state variable, anytime the value of this string changes, it will redraw any views using it, like this text, okay? So punch in text here, saves it here, okay, new save, update this here, all right? So watch what happens. If I go into the label here and I punch in my name, notice with each letter, each time I type in text, it is updating that variable, that string variable, text field text, and each time that value is updated, it's going to redraw the views that are using it. Isn't that cool? So that's state variables. I don't want to go into too much more detail because you're going to get to the text fields video and we're going to talk about bindings later and you're going to learn about all of this. You're going to use these state variables all over the place to update your app based on whatever input's coming in. It's really pretty cool, honestly. It's something that's special with SwiftUI, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you followed along, feel free to mess around with these more and more, and when you get to text fields, you'll definitely start to learn about these even more. So with that being said, I'm Wade Sellers. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.